Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to rank some teams. Now, this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, ever since taking my channel in the Overwatch League direction, but I wanted to wait till all teams had finalized their switches and everything like that, and I wasn't quite sure if there'd be any coaches switching out or some bans or whatever, but it's been pretty quiet for the last couple weeks, so if there are any minor changes, of course, I'll make a video on it. The reason this video is a bit late is it's been really noisy here, and I hate having to put you guys through any background noise. If you saw my last video, you know how much I hate background noise. But yeah, this video will only be covering 20th through 16th, or the bottom 5. And the reason for that is not for money reasons, it's not for viewer retention reasons, it's literally because it lets me edit them together and make them easier for a casual person to digest. I feel like doing all 20 at once is a bit overkill and turns into a 40-50 minute video. And if I do bottom 10, top 10, I know there's a whole heap of other YouTubers that did it that way. So I'm just going to give you my bottom 5, then my 11th through 15th. I believe that's the number. And then my 10th through 6th, and then 5th through 1st. Hopefully 4 consecutive days in a row. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, this isn't for viewer retention. It's just for ease on me. So with that all said, we're going to get into this. Down to the number 20th position. So it's going to be the Boston Uprising. Now, before I get any hate, the Boston Uprising were one of my top 5 favorite teams last season. I really liked the Boston Uprising. But after this off-season and who they've gotten rid of and who they've gained in return, it's really not been a good off-season for them. So if we take a look over here, you're not going to really see much, but their players that they're keeping from last season include AimGod, Gamsu, Kellex, and Note. Their new players include Axiom, Colorhex, Blase, Fusions, and Alamau, which is their roster going into next year. And the players they've lost or dropped or whatever, Striker, Neko, Mistakes, Kalios, Avast, and Snow. And like I said, I don't feel like they got the payback off losing those huge names. Striker, Neko, and Mistakes, I'd say, are all very good players. Possible starters. Maybe not Mistakes, but definitely Neko and Striker are possible starters that they lost. And they are going to be starting on their own teams now because Striker has moved over to the San Francisco Shock and Neko has moved to the Toronto Defiant. The new players they've picked up are from Toronto Esports and Gladiators Legion. I believe those are the 2 main places their new players came from. And in terms of names I know, I only recognize Blase and Colorhex. And I only know Colorhex because I followed the Australian scene. Blase is the only one outside of that scene that I actually knew. And as for returning players, they still have Note, they still have Gamsu, and they still have AimGod. Kellex dies a little bit too much, but maybe he's improved. But that all together, Gamsu and Note, amazing tank line, I forgot to say. But all that together, I just don't think that stacks up against the other teams. I really can't see how Boston Uprising beats another team unless that team wasn't prepared. And it really sucks because I think the Boston Uprising, had they maybe kept the core of their roster, they'd be fine going into the next season. Another thing I see on a lot of other people's ranking lists is they put Boston Uprising 1, 2, or 3 spots above last place, like a 17th. Sorry, I just banged my desk. And the reason I'm not doing that is because I don't believe in what they believe in, which is the Boston Uprising magic. The ability to pick out players from random regions and they just happen to be amazing. I don't think they have the same coaching staff to be capable of doing that, and I really do think it was a miracle the first time it happened. If it happens again, you've proved me wrong, and next season I'll put you in 3rd place on my next rankings list, right? But as it is now, I can't see the Boston Uprising any higher than 20th. So, moving on to number 19. I don't know what it is about this roster, but I really like it for some reason. And I'm actually going to be rooting for the Chengdu Hunters next season, but that doesn't stop me from putting them in number 19. Or every other list I've seen put them dead last. I do think Boston's actually not going to be as good. Main reason, everyone on this roster is Chinese. Everyone speaks China. It's a united language, and I don't think people understand how important that is when you're communicating in-game. Sure, Soldier Left can be communicated across Korean and English really easily, but you need to give those more in-detail callouts. And yeah, keep it quick in ranked. I don't want to hear your voice for too long. But in this top level, you need to be able to give a proper callout. And I think having everyone speak Chinese or Mandarin or whatever you want to call it, I think is very helpful. Their players are Yang Zhao Long, Elsa, Gary, Amen, Kyo, Jinmu, Late Young, Yvettle, and Bacon Jack. And there's only one main problem I see with this roster, and it's that a lot of them haven't played in a long time because they all moved over to PUBG competitively for a while. So that is my main problem, is that they didn't get picked up for Season 1, so they moved away to PUBG, and now they're back on an Overwatch League level team, which is very high up. I don't know if they'll be able to contend with anyone else. I can't wait to see them go up against the Boston Uprising. I think it'll be close. And I really hope this team surprises me. But as it is right now, really there's not a huge pop-off potential. They could be training super hard and they could just wipe the Koreans off the face of the earth. I'm not doubting that possibility. But just seeing their roster as a whole, apart from the unified language, there isn't a whole lot of up-to-date information about a lot of them. I am looking forward to seeing Late Young, Yang Xiaolong, and Yvettle play. I think they are actually really good players, but again, I haven't seen them play in nearly a year. So that's all my opinions on the Chengdu Hunters. I will be cheering for them, but not an amazing team statistically. Moving on to number 18. Alright, controversy time. In number 18, I have the Guangzhou Charge, or Guangzhou Charge. Now, a lot of people put this team a little bit higher. And for me, I think my opinions can be conveyed through an image, and I'll put it up on screen. It's from Reddit. It's pretty accurate, I'd say. This team, for me, doesn't fit together properly. Most of the roster is Korean. Then we have one Chinese, one UK, one USA. What? I will admit, I really do like Eileen from the Chinese scene. Sorry, there's two Chinese players. I do like Eileen from the Chinese scene. Hopper is from the Philadelphia Fusion, who I think is very good. And their Western players are actually quite good. I just don't understand why they're here. Like, they could have been on another roster if another roster was nice enough to pick them up. But Guangzhou Charge just felt like they needed an American and a UK player on the team. It's really strange to me. Not to mention, pretty much this team may as well just be called Metabellum, because I believe 4 of their players are from there. But their players are, and sorry if I screw up any names because there's actually a name I don't know how to say on here, Chara or Kara, then Happy, Rio, Wanja, there's the name, Wanja Ali, Eileen, Shu, Hotba, Only Wish, Kib, and Nero. And like I said, really, there's not many standouts on this team, and I can't see them going up against, like, even another expansion team like Toronto Defiant or the Hangzhou Spark. And, of course, the Season 1 teams like Dallas Fuel or Houston Outlaws. I really can't see them getting a win currently. Of course, the teams that are joining the league next season, we don't know what they're like yet, so that's just how it is. I do not like how the Guangzhou Charge look right now, and that's all I've got to say on the matter. So we'll move down to 17 now. Florida Mayhem. Now, despite all the changes Florida Mayhem went through, they're still going to be a bottom team, and it really sucks. I'd hate to be a Florida fan. Their returning players for next season are S&T, who used to be Awesome Guy, Saya Player or Saya Player, however you want to say it, and then Tavik. Their new players will include Apply, Hugopen, Zephyr, Chris, BQB, and Swan. And their leaving players are pretty much the old Florida Mayhem. Logix, Manatins, Swoosh, Zebasai, Zupe, and Zappos. That is a lot of Z's. And this team makes again, not a lot of sense to me. Zephyr from the Seoul Dynasty, I never saw him as an amazing player, but I do think he's a quality pickup here. Tavik is the only Western, I believe. Oh, and Apply, but Apply's new. Tavik was their only remaining Western player, which confused me. Maybe they're keeping him for brand, or maybe he really did just go off and just beat everyone else who scrimmed with the team to get a spot. Sire player, amazing Widowmaker, but we haven't really seen him play much else to that high Widowmaker playing level. Like, he's quite good at it. And I'd say Awesome Guy, he's pretty good. That's all I can say. He's pretty good. And the rest of their pickups from X6 Gaming, Meta Athena, NRG Esports, that being BQB, Chris, and Swan, I just haven't seen enough. I really haven't. I really don't have an opinion on these players. And that's not me saying that I don't think I know anything about the players, therefore I put them at a low rank because I can't make a judgment. That's me saying they haven't made a big enough impact for me to go and be interested in watching what they have done in the past. I did look at a couple of their recent matches and really nothing stood out to me. I'll be honest. Maybe I'm missing something, but this roster really does have to rank 17th for me. And we'll be, with that, moving down to 16th. It seems like the only people who like this team are from its country or state. Washington Justice might become one of my new favorite teams. Now, I'm Australian, as I have to stress in every single video I'm Australian. But the Washington Justice have just character. They just do. I love Ado from the Shanghai Dragons. I loved Guido from the Seoul Dynasty. Even though he was an inferior Ryu Jaehong, I liked Guido. Janice from the New York Excelsior, the tank that was just never as good as Mano. This team has character, and I think they have potential. Every other list put them dead last, second last, third last. I wanted to put this team higher, but then I woke up a little bit and realized maybe I'm overhyping them in my own body. Like, I can't wait to see this team play. They could be garbage, and I could be completely wrong with this rank. But the Washington Justice, just as a composed roster, it seems just really closed. Like, I can see a starting roster. And if you guys don't know the roster, I should probably tell you it's Janice, Farzix, Hyonu, there you go, there's the name. Corey, Stratus, Ado, Guido, and Sansam. Janice is from New York Excelsior. Farzix from Envision Esports Contenders. Hyonu, I'm going to get that name wrong every time, from Metabellum. Gladiators Legions, Corey. Stratus from NRG Esports, Ado from Shanghai Dragons, Guido from the Seoul Dynasty, and Sansam from Meta Athena, the Korean contenders scene. Now, to an outsider looking in, these players are a bit mismatched. Like, they're all mostly Korean. There's a couple USA players, but mostly Korean. And looking at this roster from the outside, I bet people will just completely write them off as, like, it's not really a solid core. But when I look at this team, I see just Boston Uprising 2.0. Like, not this season's Boston Uprising, last season's, where there's some unknown on there, but there is also some really proven names. And I think as a team, they can go maybe further than where I've ranked them, but I'm going to stop myself from putting them higher because that is just putting way too much expectations on a team that could flop really hard. And the main person I'm excited about on this roster is Ado. Being stuck on the Shanghai Dragons, stuck, that's a strong word. Being on the Shanghai Dragons showed that even on a team that barely ever won, never won an actual set, but won some maps here and there, Ado stood out so much above everyone else, even above Gaguri, I'd put it. Ado is an amazing player to even do that. So now that he's on a roster that looks competent, I can't wait to see if he's Prophet 2.0 or not. It is an exciting team to look forward to. And in terms of power, I mean, Janice from New York Excelsior is your tank. Do you want any more? I don't think you need any more. Well, thanks for watching. It was a little bit of a weird video. I did put some teams in places that others wouldn't agree with. But overall, I'm very happy with how this came out. And I hope you guys either agree, disagree, leave your comments down in the comment section, not in the description. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Ciao.